What's scarier, the monster outside your door or the one inside your mind? Welcome to Fearapy Sessions, horror from our perspective. We are your hosts, Pam and Dominique, two Black women therapists who live and breathe horror. And every week, we'll dive into the creepiest corners of film and culture through the lens of psychology, identity, and lived experience. From psychological thrillers to haunted houses, from the horror of not being believed to the monsters of the mind. No fear goes unanalyzed. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. This is our 10th episode for Fearapy Sessions.
Yay! Number 10.
I am one of the co-hosts, Pamela.
And I'm Dominique.
We are so happy to continue our episodes with speaking about the science of scare. And so, you know, it was all the talk last month, the 50 scariest movies. In a previous episode, we already covered 50 to 46. We just want to kind of go into depth about each movie, why they may have made the list, if they're in the right place, or should they be farther down in the list. Today, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the movies that were 45 to 41. So that's where we are today. And so before we get started, we want to give you a warning.
Yes, this is the spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert. The majority of these movies have been out for a little bit, but there are a couple of them that are fairly new.
Yeah,
and
maybe two or three.
Yeah, just kind of preparing you for it. So go ahead, go check out the Science of Scare list. Look at what number 41 through 45 are. And if you haven't seen them, go ahead and pause.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pause right now. Go watch them. And then come right on back.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and kick off with number 45. Pass it on over to you, Dominique.
Number 45, Saw 10. So Saw 10 came out in 2023. It is, by the name, the 10th installment of the Saw series. Love the Saw series. Like, absolutely love the Saw series. I think I've seen the first one more times than I probably should have, but I love it. And so this one is a little different because this one, I think they said, does this fall, like the timeline is supposed to be between number 1 and 2? I
think it was going on simultaneously. Is when he found out he was sick, right? It's during that time.
Yeah. And so it follows John Kramer, or Jigsaw. And in this film, he travels to Mexico for an experimental cancer treatment. And then along the way, he finds out that it's a scam. And so, Jigsaw has to come out. And I'm not going to lie. This is one of those, like, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him at all. Don't blame him at all. Like, I'm like, this is, he gives vigilante real strong, unnecessary vigilante action, but vigilante nonetheless.
Yeah. Now, this made number 45. What do you think about that? Is it where it's supposed to be?
I don't think so, because I don't think it's scary. I think it's
agreed.
What I'm starting to notice of the movies that are on this list, frightening would be the word, disturbing would be the word, but scary isn't it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Scary is not the right descriptor at all.
Disturbing.
Yes, this was disturbing. I could see the visceral response based on how disturbing this was, for sure. I get it. Like, it was, what was it, the premonition or the thought process of sucking that guy's eyeballs out because he was about to steal his watch.
Disgusting, right? And
oh my gosh,
I agree with you. Like, this is very gory. It's on the same level as like Hostel and movies, those gory movies. I've never considered the Saw franchise as scary. Yes, disturbing, but it has so many life lessons in it. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Like, don't be a scammer, right?
Exactly. Like, you just out here scamming. Here scamming folks. For what?
I don't fear Jigsaw because I don't think I would ever get put in a room, right? Because I just don't, I try to be nice to people and kind to people. right?
Mhm.
So that's why
Mhm.
I personally am not afraid of that type of
I'm
thing.
not afraid of Jigsaw. I'm not
Right.
afraid of him at all. Um, and I'm definitely not afraid of him because this movie like rehumanizes him,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yes.
it shows you the true person. I mean, he's a monster, he's a madman, for damn sure.
Mhm.
But there's a method to his madness and it is what it is. Don't do look, he is the embodiment of F around and find out.
Listen, I mean, because it's one of those things where I might have would've if he was my therapy client and he told me this situation and what they did to him and what his plans were, I know I have to report it, but I would give him a head start because it was dirty. It was
It's give
dirty.
him
I would give him like 24,
give
48
him
hours. I'd be like, "Hurry up,"
give
and then
him
Imma
enough
call him again.
time give him enough time to set it up and get the people in the traps, and then
Yeah,
the police come in before anybody dies,
because they did him
right?
dirty.
Because we don't want anybody to die, but there's a lesson to be learned in this movie, y'all. Like, I
Yeah,
just and then when homegirl thought that she had him, I'm like, "You ain't got nothing, boo. You won't have this man. Not at all." So,
so
yeah,
yeah, so
but
I
not
yeah.
scary. Not
Yeah,
scary in my
he's
opinion.
a gory list or a disturbing list because this was definitely, disturbing, so at least it wasn't higher up on the list. I'm sure we'll run into other Saw, so I definitely
Mhm.
think I would make Saw 1 is scarier than this because it was so new,
Yep, yep.
but Saw
'Cause
10,
you
I'm
had
like,
no idea what was happening.
"Yeah, yeah, and just follow the rules and do what you gotta do and get out of it." He give you a chance to get away,
He
you know?
does. He
So
does. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I really think it's a disturbing factor. So I think
mhm,
it was like a 17 jump, like 17 beeps per minute jump for the
yeah,
average person
yeah,
for this movie. Yeah, of course it's gonna
mhm,
happen when you watch
mhm,
somebody cut their own leg off. Of
yeah,
course it's gonna happen when you watch somebody drill into their brain and pick pieces of brain matter out to weigh
yes,
on a scale. Not scary.
yeah,
So
100%.
next,
Next. So up next, we have for 44, we have Long Legs. This was made in 2023, and if you have not seen this, it is not about spiders.
it's not about
Like,
spiders,
no, it
y'all.
is not about spiders. And so again, 2023. This is actually I believe Nicolas Cage was a co-producer or producer of some sort on this actual movie. He also plays in the movie. And I think they didn't do it justice by not advertising that he is actually in the movie. When I saw it, I was shocked a little when I saw him. So that
Mhm.
part was interesting to me. This is not a normal horror movie in any way. Honestly, to me, it was more creepy than scary.
Not
And
scary.
so it's not scary. It has some demonic aspects to it, but it really, really reminds me of the serial killer movie Kiss the Girl, where it was like this whole
Yeah.
mystery and they're trying to find where the people are, blah, 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 before they commit the next act or the crime. It honestly, it was a very confusing movie. At the end,
Mhm.
I'm like, "How did this detective even get on the case when she's a part of the case?" And that took me right
Right.
to Silence of the Lamb a little bit too.
But see, I think it's because they didn't know that she
Yeah,
was a part she didn't even know, but
and how is that
I
possible?
like, from the jump, I was like, "This girl's involved in some way." Like, she's involved.
And the main character, she has some type of social thing, and she's psychic, evidently. And so she's able
Mhm.
to allegedly, because by the time you see the end and you realize she's kind of a part of it, it's like, is she psychic or does she just know? Right. And so that was a little
Yeah.
confusing. So, because she was having these premonitions, and like at the very beginning, she's like, oh, the person's in that house. And her partner's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. 5 minutes later, he gets shot. Right. She knew what she was talking about.
Right.
So, with this really shows the scary part is the things someone will do for their child. I think that's kind of the overlying theme. Like this mom went above and beyond she sacrificed so many families to save
Yep.
her daughter. It's kind of sums it up of what it's about. So it's
Yeah,
almost like
and
she made a deal with
you don't find that out until the end, and you know what? It gives Manson family vibes
Mhm. Mhm.
a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
because this guy never did anything.
Yeah.
Like, he never did
He could
anything.
touch anybody.
He brainwashed and convinced. The only person he got a hold of was the mom. That was it, and then he put her on this path, and she was the one that was out here, and I mean, technically, she didn't touch anybody either.
They just planted a seed in people's brains and said, "Do this," and they committed the murder, so there's no fingerprints or
Yep.
proof that they did anything, and basically, they were
Kinda like
using
Saw.
dolls, right? They were using
Yeah.
dolls to control people or some type of, I don't know, they didn't say specifically if it was voodoo or what it was, but it was demonic or whatever, it was cultic.
It was something that they were ingraining these people's essence in the
Mhm,
dolls to
mhm.
where the young child or the young girl into the doll because it was this form of mind control where they were sitting here watching these things happen and we're not moved or bothered by it at all, and we don't know that until we see the main character, she breaks the back of the head of or no, the mom does it, right? She
Mhm,
shoots it,
mhm.
and you see this, like, black dust come out, and the homegirl has, like, a dizzy spell, and then she wakes up, and she remembers everything,
Yeah.
like,
It was like a
absolutely
blocker.
everything.
Yeah, it was like a trauma blocker. So all the bad stuff,
Yep,
you didn't remember it. Just like they had another, victim who was in a, insane asylum who
yep,
hadn't talked until he told her to talk, basically. So it's that mind control aspect, which is scary because, we know very little
real.
about voodoo and cult, interaction. So I could see how that part can be scary. But overall, it might have been one jump scare. The cinematography in this makes you anxious,
Yes,
makes you
it
very anx
does. It's
yeah,
creepy, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. They give you these shots where something should appear behind them, but it never does.
Mhm,
And so I can see how your heart can kinda pound because it's like, "Okay, I'm staring at this empty space. Something should appear," but it doesn't.
yeah, and it gives off actually, I don't know if you know this, but the director is the son of the director of Psycho.
That makes some sense.
And
Okay.
so it kinda makes sense because it really is, like, the vibe of it
Mhm.
is, like, it's weird, it makes you uncomfortable, but you don't know why it makes you
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it did have some jump scare moments, so there were jump scares,
Yes. Handful.
but nothing truly frightening. Yeah, but as I said before, like, jump scares to me don't equal a scary movie
Agreed.
by any means.
100% agree. But yeah, so that one is on the list, but I think it's more anxiety driven. But it's on
Yeah,
the list. Watch it. I guess it's a good drama thriller, but not so much scary, right? So
no.
yeah, so that's our number 44. Number 43, I'll jump right into is Lights Out. This is a 2016 movie. It's psychological fear about the dark. I do think this one is scary. I think it touches on everybody's childhood fear. Like, who was not afraid of the
Mhm.
dark as a kid? But it's not even just the dark, it's shadows in this one. So if you
Yeah,
step outside of a shadow, you're going to get snatched, right? In no
yeah,
time. So it's really a boogeyman suspense scared. Every time you turn around, somebody's getting snatched or something random is just grabbing you or popping out. So there are a lot of jump scares in Lights Out. So, and it
it
starts
fe
immediately.
yeah, and it feeds into that, like, joke that we all have about when you hurry up and turn the lights off and run and jump and get under the covers and
Hmm.
cover your
Hmm.
head so you don't see what's there. Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
and you know what? Evidently that saves you. Grabbing a flashlight and jumping under covers, putting over your head. In a lot of
mhm,
movies, it saves you, right? And so this movie dives really into mental health, or at least how we stigmatize it. Like when somebody's not well in some way, or someone is having some type of breakdown, we just give them this label. We kind of
yeah,
dismiss them, we put them away. And I think that is the
we don't.
flaw of many scary movies. You don't believe children, you don't believe your
Yeah,
spouse. It's easy to
yeah,
say they're crazy. I kinda go with the practice of believing first. Like,
yeah,
let's go check it out. I'm gonna believe you first. Because in a lot of cases, just like this, not believing caused trauma
yeah,
in their home. It caused, the loss of family members, and so, this person went away and continued on until he went back to his, hometown where he couldn't, quite escape the dark anymore, and so that's kinda the, plot of this movie, but yeah, a lot of jump scares. Like, do you have that dark fear?
I don't really have a fear of the dark,
Mhm.
but I do have that irrational thought of, like, there's something that's in
Mhm.
that's in the shadow
Mhm.
staring out at me, and so it does make me real uncomfortable sometimes, but I'm not afraid of the dark
Yeah.
by any means. I actually enjoy it. Like, I need it pitch black in my room. Pitch black
I need some
so I can go to
light.
sleep.
Imma be honest, I am that scary person. I need to see my surroundings because that basket of laundry that's across my room in the dark, it don't look like a basket of laundry.
Mhm.
My that thing charging don't it's not it's somebody's eyes in the
Well,
dark.
remember I told you that, like, my bedroom door is open and with the light that is kinda shining from I think it's like a street light outside. It looks like a form is standing in my doorway, and I'd be like, "Freddie, I ain't got time for you today, bro. I'm
See, yeah,
tired. Like, I'm really tired." But to your point about believing folks, and I think that's what makes the movies good because you already know, like, "Oh my gosh, you better believe him because they're telling the
yeah,
truth," and it creates this anxiety. I am a firm believer, right? And I know it's probably sounds wild that for the folks who see things, the folks who are like experiencing frightening things, who's to say that the idea of the veil is not thin for them, right?
yeah,
Like people have been saying this for a while. Like, what if people that you're calling quote unquote crazy? What if children? What if those who are vulnerable in a sense, the veil isn't as thick or as strong as it is for others. And so they see things and they hear
mhm,
things that
mhm.
we don't see until
It's too
that
late.
veil, like, yeah, it's too late. It gets thinned out or lifted for us. And now we're like, oh my gosh. So yes, believe people
Yeah,
when they tell you things. Believe them. And then when it's obvious that it's not true, then you can help them kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
understand or but yeah.
And I would love in some of these movies to get a good apology to some of these people. You never see
Yes.
that. You never see, "You know what, little Tommy? I didn't believe you, but you was right the whole time. My bad. I know we just
Right.
put you in this asylum for 10 years. My bad." Like something.
Say you sorry. But no, the one I mean, this movie was scary. This
Yes.
movie was scary to me. The scene that I can't get out of my head is when the streetlights start to
Mhm,
get popped out.
mhm.
I'm like, that's where
Yeah. They would even I
that's where you
think
lost
it
me.
can as long as you had at least a phone camera or a light, they were
Yeah.
good, but as soon as you went out of the light, it was a wrap, and so this one deserves to be on the list.
Mhm.
I feel like there's probably some other movies farther down that it coulda switched places with because this one does kinda it has me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
So, definitely it deserves to be on this list, so that's Lights Out, 43.
Mhm. Mhm.
What's 42?
The next one is your favorite movie, Immaculate.
Mm.
Ah!
I
You love this movie so
Mm,
much. What are you talking
yes.
about?
I don't know what it was the best waste of time. Someone likes it, I'm sure. This is someone's jam, I'm sure. Yes, but go ahead, tell them a little bit
Yeah.
about Immaculate.
So Immaculate is like it's interesting. It falls into the category of Catholic
Mhm.
trauma horror.
Yeah,
That's what I'm like. Why
religious fear.
are all these movies, all the horror movies? Like if I was Catholic, I'd be offended. Like I
Mhm.
would be offended. Why are
Can't
all
be
these horror
offended about
movies
truth.
based on based on the Catholic Church?
Catholic Church, like, well, it's kinda like that.
Oh my gosh. So, yo, you ain't right. So in this movie, an American nun is she goes to this remote convent. I was going to say
Yes,
monastery,
convent,
convent
yes.
in Italy, and apparently this place is where older nuns who are at the end of their life go to be cared for. And so she's there and it is what it is. Like she's there and these weird things happen. She has these weird dreams and then she pops up pregnant. There's this really awkward scene. Again, believe people, but
Mhm,
also what? Like awkward scene where they force her to get an ultrasound after they question her about whether or
mhm.
not she has had any kind of sexual contact at any point. She's adamant that she hasn't, and then they do an ultrasound and she pops up pregnant.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and then it turns out that they are experimenting on these young women who come there to try to birth the Antichrist, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of it's a strange movie. I would say
Yeah,
that it's a strange movie, and it's the the funniest part and the most ingenious part to me was with the chicken.
Mhm.
Like, I was not when I first watched it, I was not expecting that. I thought
Mhm.
homegirl was really in distress and
Oh,
all
she
this,
did.
and then
It was
oh,
smart.
she
It
acting
was very
acting
smart.
was
Mhm.
it was real smart.
Well, because
And
they wouldn't
then
let her go to a real hospital, and so that's a red
right,
flag, like, this person is pregnant, she's in distress, why would you not let her go to a hospital? And
right.
why do you just have a ultrasound on standby at a
Why? Why do
like,
you have this?
no one's supposed to be having sex, right? There should be no babies, why do we have a ultrasound machine
Right.
ready and available?
And it's not like y'all it's like a house for unwed mothers or where they send off girls to back in the day or whenever. Like, that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
So why do y'all have that? And so she
yeah,
was right to question all of it, but there were some jump scares, but
mhm,
that was about it. It
yeah,
wasn't really scary. It was unnerving, but
yeah.
not scary.
So, and I'm honestly, I didn't like this because I kind of unraveled the plot before when she got pregnant,
Yeah.
and and
Yep.
they kind of knew she was pregnant before she knew she was pregnant. I knew it. I knew what was going on, and the scary part to me is that because of religious trauma, you can convince people of stuff that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. So you can
Yep.
say, Immaculate conception. And it's like, okay, I'm chosen. The Lord doesn't bless me with a baby. I'm chosen. Oh, in reality, these people are saying these nuns. And
Mhm.
that's those different assault movies are on my list of my cringe movies, right? And so this literally I
Yeah.
feel like is on the list with House on the Left because in reality, like they are, even if they're not actually doing it, which they didn't get into detail of how the deed is done, but they are impregnating nuns in this movie. And that's
Mhm.
creepy. And they use
Mhm.
religion to back it and make it make sense to these nuns who are dedicating their life to this religion. And so it's not the monsters are the priest in this
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't care, religious movie or not. If a good looking man comes out of nowhere and he's
Mhm.
in your space, run. Run,
Yeah.
sis, run. Don't
Yeah.
trust him.
Yeah.
Don't
He was
trust
too
him.
smooth. He was giving me
Yeah.
vampire from Fright Night feels.
Yes, he
He
was.
was real smooth. Yeah, he was too smooth to
Right.
be a pastor. Yeah, he was there. He probably everybody daddy. I mean, whoever that had babies in that there, he's the daddy, right? And so
He is. He's all their dads.
yeah. And so and maybe I don't know, it could be a sequel because it's like, is it the Antichrist? You
Look,
know?
well,
That might be
she
a better movie.
do you talking about like a prequel or a
No, I'm
sequel?
talking like
Because
once she has the baby.
I think she did crush that baby.
Did she?
You don't think she did? I think she did.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
potentially.
the way she ain't care about the thing, and then the way that she was looking at it, I think
Mhm.
she did because just like okay, call back to last episode with Welcome to Dairy, y'all giving birth and just letting these babies hit the ground.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't care about them.
But
You don't care. So
same if it is an Antichrist, would it be that easy to kill?
that rock was kind of big.
Yeah, yeah,
And she
yeah,
was
yeah.
mad, and she seemed very serious. I think she crushed that baby.
Okay. A prequel might be needed then, because 'cause I'm sure she wasn't the first.
She wasn't. What was there, like 20 of them at least in that room?
Yeah, so 100%. So, I don't think it deserves to be on the list, but depending I can see how it can
No.
give people anxiety to the heart rate situation as well. It's disturbing, scary, no. And so, yeah. So, yeah.
But at this point, I feel like people shouldn't even be afraid of horror movies that surround the Catholic Church because it's a little overdone.
Mhm. Yeah, reality
Pick
is much
another
more scarier.
denomination. Come
Yes.
on and pick another denomination,
That's a good
please.
point. Yeah, let's have some Mormon horror movies or something, some Amish or
Right.
something else besides the
Something.
Catholic Church. But I just think there's a lot more realistic, real life horrors with the Catholic Church. Then we don't need any more
Mhm.
horror movies. We don't need any more exorcisms, or anything. So but yeah,
No.
but let's wrap it up with an actual scary one. So
Yeah.
41.
I'm just sitting here shaking my head because 41. Oh, that movie made me so uncomfortable from the
Yes.
jump. So we're talking about Evil Dead Rise, y'all. This is the last Evil Dead movie that came out. It deserves its place over the other ones that we talked about today. I don't know if it should be this far down.
Right.
So in this movie is it essentially evolves around this young woman who I think she's like, is she in a band or something like that? But she finds out she's pregnant at the
Right.
beginning of the movie, and I'm like, this kind of throws things off. Like, what does this have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Before that was the scene at
Yes.
the lake. And so, y'all, if you don't ever want to become a victim of any kind of horror video,
Mhm.
don't go to a lake.
Don't
Just
go
don't
to
go
a
to a
lake.
lake. Don't
Mhm.
go to a lake.
Mhm.
So there's these the three friends. I think it was a couple, and then the one
Mhm.
friend, and they're at the lake, and the girlfriend of the guy's inside. So the friend goes in, and she's checking on her. And I mean, this is where it starts off creepy for me. So the friend is
Mhm.
just laying there. She appears to be sick. Homegirl sits in the chair. She starts reading. And then next thing you know, this heifer done popped up. And she's sitting with her back to her. And she starts reading word for word the book that she's reading. And I'm like, mm-mm,
Mhm. Everybody
mm-mm.
got time.
Why are you
Mhm.
still there? Get
Mhm.
out. Get out. Your friend is a lost cause. How does she know what page you're on?
Mhm.
Like, get out. And then the friend falls off the bed, goes into the spout, what looks like she OD. So I kind of get that. Like, if that had been the first encounter, then I would get her sticking around. But the
Mhm.
other part, I would have had to go. And then she proceeds to rip her scalp off. She rips her scalp off. This movie starts strong, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
it had me sitting there when it started, like, is this how I'm gonna feel for the rest of this movie?
Rest of it, yes. Yeah. It
Just
gives you that the rest of the
uncomfortable.
movie. Yeah. Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
It gives you
Yeah,
gory, it gives you creepy, it gives you scary all
it
together.
does. It
Mhm.
does. What would you say was the most unsettling scene for
Oh,
you?
I think there was a part with one of the little girls. Was she burned? It was the oldest girl, and
Mhm.
I think she was, like, either cutting her skin or doing something real creepy. And it was forcing her to do it, or either she was eating something.
She
Anytime that
was
they
eating glass.
That's the glass. Yeah, anytime you're eating
Mhm.
something and you could see the fear in her eyes, but she couldn't control herself from doing it. That
Mhm.
was creepy to me. So what I like the most about this movie is because these are two separate scenes we're talking about. The
Yeah,
lake people and like these little girls I'm talking about, this was a family that's in an apartment. They have nothing to do with each other. They are
nothing.
completely different people. I love, and I've said this before, other than horror movies, a who done it or mystery is my next favorite thing. And this gave
Mhm.
both because you for a minute forget about the lake house situation and then they do a full circle and show you how they got the lake house situation happen. It's all about the book. So the Evil Dead, what is
Yeah.
the book called? Norcrom something. The book,
N
the skin bound book, Necro, yes,
Necromonicon.
Necro something.
Mhm.
Will
Necromonicon, I think is what it is.
but that book, they got the teenagers got a hold of the book, was playing the creepy words on a record player. Like, why would
Mhm.
you ever do this? Why do you have a record player in 2020? Nonetheless, I have one too, but nonetheless, you're
I was
like
gonna say
12.
people have them now, they're back.
I have one too, but I'm old. But you're like 12, why do you have this, right? And so you're playing this
Oh.
out loud. So you done conjured up the spirits, and then at the end, that book gets to becomes property of somebody at the lake house. So that's how it gets to the lake house. So I love
Mm,
that loop, right? But yes,
mhm.
this book always causes havoc. And I love
Listen,
it.
I'm a big supporter of reading.
Mhm.
Read, read. But if the book looks like it's covered in human skin,
Yes,
leave it
yes.
alone.
Leave
Leave it where
it
you found
alone.
it.
It
Don't
has
even touch
eyes.
it.
Why are we
It
touching it?
has
It
an
has
eye.
eyes.
Why
Yeah.
why? It's not a joke. That's not cool. Well, the scene that got me was it was right after the scene that you were talking about where
Mhm.
she was up on the counter, her back turned, eating glass, and, her aunt was like, when she tried to run away, homegirl jumped off the counter and grabbed the cheese grater and grated her leg.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah. There
Done.
oh, it's so many gory parts in this movie, so many, and the thing is,
Mhm.
do they do too much? Yes, but it's the Evil
Yeah.
Dead. This is what they do. They've been doing this for all of them.
But they did too much from start to finish. They
Mhm.
did not give you a chance to breathe. And I think it also what made it scary was playing on the maternal horror
Mm,
theme, like, that is always that tends to be scarier for me
yeah,
because you feel bad for the kids
yeah.
because most kids, no matter what, they leave their mama's side,
Mm,
right? They're not gonna give up on their mama, so you possess their mom, you got them,
mhm,
you got them
mhm. Yeah, they're gonna open the
every
door,
single
they're gonna
time.
go out to the mama, which they did, the youngest did try that, the mama tried to
Mhm,
fool her, tried this, whatever, but,
mhm.
it was so many people who it's that the whole thing in scary movies where you have people who are trying to save and help people, then they get killed. That's the whole
Yeah,
episode we need to do. We need to do like a
yes.
hero gone wrong episode, like, you shoulda mind your business and kept moving. You'd have been okay. But you wanna
And
be
that's so yeah, I
yeah,
can't wait to talk about that because it's hard. Like, it's
it's hard.
hard when we say take care of each other, and
Mhm.
then at the same time, you're like, "If you'd have minded your business, you'd still be here."
Yeah, you saw this innocent family and you're like, "Oh, no, let's go save them," and now you done got toe up in the hallway. Like, and your whole family gone because of this, you wanted to help
Gone,
this other family. So, nonetheless, yes, love thy neighbors, but worry about yourself sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
right?
Worry about yourself
Call the
sometimes.
cops.
And so there
Call
was a
somebody
lot of there was
else. Let somebody else do it.
let someone else be the hero. But yes, and so this was a definitely interesting, movie. Even when you thought someone was about to make it, they didn't make it,
Mhm,
right? Like, you just knew that
mhm.
even, her being pregnant or whatever, didn't matter. It
It
didn't
did not
matter.
matter.
It did not matter. So very realistic. This deserves to be on the list.
It does deserve to be on the list,
Yeah. So 41,
for sure.
again, it could have been in the 30s or 20s.
Yeah, I think it deserves to be a bit higher than what
Yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
Definitely deserves to be on the list more than some of the ones we talked about today and the last time, but
Yes.
higher.
Yeah, definitely higher. Give us its flowers, and especially because this is a one of those foundational horror movies. The Evil Dead is just one of those. They did
Yeah,
not mess up the franchise with this one because
they
a lot of
didn't.
times when they make a new one, especially after like 20, 30 years, it messes up the franchise. And Ash wasn't on this one, right? And so I didn't know how I was gonna feel about that. He wasn't, right? Am I tripping? The original
See, now
character.
you got me wondering, I don't
Yeah, I don't think
remember.
so. I don't think he even made a
I
cameo or
don't
anything, but
remember.
I didn't think I was gonna like it because of that, but I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
I
he
have to
did.
double check, but I don't think he made an
Okay.
appearance in any way, which is like he was in all the past ones.
He's all
So
the other ones.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it still was good. The main character is the book. That's the main character.
yes,
So yes, that's my thoughts on
absolutely.
Evil Dead, but deserves to be on the list.
Imma have to go, like, say a couple prayers or something after talking
Listen,
about that movie because it
listen. Yeah,
was. It
100%.
was so unsettling the entire time, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, well, we'd love to hear what y'all think about 41 through 45. If you agree with us, if you disagree, we want to hear it. We want to hear it. So go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments. As we've said before, we are streaming on Spotify. So you can find us as Therapy Sessions on Spotify. You can find us at Therapy Sessions on Instagram and Facebook. So go ahead, subscribe, like, follow, listen, watch, do all the things. Oh, and you can watch on YouTube.
Yes,
So,
100%.
yeah.
So, we look forward to chatting with you guys on our next episode. Until then,
Yeah. See you next
bye.
session.